What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be kicking off Week 9 in the 2015 NFL season. Thursday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. As we all know, the Browns are pretty much, I don't know how to say this, total ass. But it's not really the situation that we're not going to really talk about too much of them being ass as opposed to how well the Cincinnati Bengals are playing. Pretty much right now, Tyler Eifert is really putting in work. I'm going to tell you this right now. He probably did a lot of work for somebody that just happened to put him on a one-day fantasy game in FanDuel or DraftKings or something, because he put in work with those 3 TDs yesterday. AJ Green, not so much, but Marvin Jones played well. The running game was pretty solid with Bernard and Hill. But the bottom line is, why is Mike Pettin not fired? And when I say that, it's pretty much like this. I know that Johnny Manziel is not their favorite guy. You could see that in their face. Even when he was asked at halftime about Johnny, they don't. It's sort of like how Jay Gruden talks about RG3. They don't like him. They don't want him there. They don't want this young man there. And I know that, pretty much what has been happening is that, he was drinking, but I'm pretty sure he's doing a lot more than drinking. But, the rehab, the thing with his girlfriend, and then he's allegedly beating her, Johnny Manziel. The beginning of the game, he looked good. He had flashes of a very, very good game, a very, very good play. You see, the thing about it is, the receivers had drops in the second half. The ball bounced right off the receiver. Like, bro, listen, when you have a quarterback that's in there that you put in, he's 1-0 as a starter this year. Then you take him out, you put McNown back in, okay? And then you expect him to just come back and just be ready to roll, and it is what it is. They're setting this, against a defense like the Bengals, you're setting this young man up for failure. And it's a problem to me because Mike Pettin's face looks so stupid all the time. I don't know if you guys were watching it early when the national anthem was going on, and the guy that was singing it wasn't singing it too well. And Mike Pettin's face was mad angry about it, but I don't know if he was mad about it or if his face is just always looking that stupid. But whatever the situation is, he should have been fired a long time ago. It's sort of like with the Lions. The Lions is firing everybody around the problem, which is Jim Caldwell. Like, why you fight? Okay, the GM deserves to be fired. I understand that. The snake. You got to take the snake from the head down. I understand all that stuff. The fish stinks from the head down. All that kind of, all those kind of technical terms and whatever type of old-fashioned sayings they have. But when you look at what's happening with the Browns, they are depleted on defense. A lot of starters didn't play. A lot of things didn't happen. But what I'm saying is, even when they had those starters last year, Mike Pettin showed that he doesn't know how to coach. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to be unfair here. I'm trying to make people understand that when you look at a guy's face, it has a lot to do with the outcome of games. And I'm proving it every week. I can tell you, based on the way a guy's face looks as head coach, if they're more prone to lose or not. And Jim Caldwell is a jackass, and so is Mike Pettin. Mike Pettin, listen, I'm just so disgusted with the Browns right now, because even when Hoyer was playing and they were at like what, they made it to like, I forgot what they were at. They were playing very, very well until he got injured. You could see that they had some type of to what they were doing. Right now, they had their injury. They're injury prone. They pretty much was playing, without anyone that we even know of. There wasn't even anything exciting going on. Honestly, other than Johnny Manziel. That's the only reason I actually stayed and watched the entire game. Usually I'll do a little bit of snippets here and there if it's a bum garbage game. If it was any other quarterback, I wouldn't play it. It's sort of like you're still looking for that flash, and we got some of it last night as far as Johnny Manziel goes. But it was a very difficult game for him. But people have to be fair in their commentary and in their breakdown of what really happened. It wasn't all on Johnny Manziel. The coaching was bad. They put him in positions to not win. With a guy with speed like that, they're supposed to have packages for him in that. I don't understand what these coaches do. I really just don't understand. The type of offense this young man played when he was at Texas A&M. Then you bring him out and you don't give him any of those formations. You don't even try. If Johnny Manziel played for Chip Kelly, the Eagles probably would be running away with the NFC East. because that's the kind of offense that Johnny Manziel needs. And you don't have to completely revamp it, but these offensive coordinators have to have some type of common sense and say, you know what, Johnny, what would you like to do this week? We know you're going to start, you know, talk to the quarterback, because it's just ridiculous. And that's why it's a real downer for me and a lot of other people that watch the NFL when you see a guy that has a certain skill set and the coaching staff is like, no, we're going to change it. What? You know, like what? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know, you tell somebody on heroin, you know what, today we're not doing heroin today. Today we're just gonna go ahead and take some Advil. We're gonna take a regular painkiller. It's gonna be the same thing. No, it's not. It's not gonna be the same thing. People have to try to adapt to the quarterback that is playing. It doesn't make any sense to me that you put these guys out there. You're risking his health. You're risking Johnny Manziel's health. And you're not even letting him play the way that he's used to playing. And yet still the man was still making plays. When he threw that touchdown to Duke Johnson, he jumped up and celebrated with himself. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there with the Browns. They should trade this young man or release him. Please. Please trade him or release him. It's just not fair, bro. It doesn't make any sense that you're going to do this to him. So young in his career. It's unbelievable how bad that coaching staff is. Mike Pettin should be fired ASAP, man. You guys have to start to understand, owners, that when you look at what the fans are receiving, even if your team is not doing well, you have to put forth some type of effort to show that you're trying to bring that team in the right direction. I don't appreciate watching the game that I can't see Johnny Manziel come out in the pistol and put in some work. I can't understand why you wouldn't do that with the speed that this young man has. Why would you set him up for failure? It doesn't make any sense. And guys have to be very, very fair. I'm not saying that he played lights out. I'm saying he played well to keep the game in balance. The defense didn't help him out a lot, and his receivers were dropping balls. So what do you want him to do? A non-existent run game for the most part. What do you want him to do? You can't. You know, he had big targets when he was at Texas A&M. You know, he had that Mike Evans. He had guys that could make plays. Who's on this team now that can make plays? He was in sets where he could run the ball and do things. Who's his offensive coordinator? What is he doing? It's a joke right now with the Cleveland Browns. And if Mike Pettin isn't fired, listen, you guys better start a petition. That guy is a goddamn joke. Other than that, the Bengals are looking very impressive, man. Bengals are looking well. Tyler Eifert had a hell of a game. Andy Dalton looks like he has a lot of confidence. He's even throwing balls that's not even designed to go to Tyler Eifert in the end zone and it's going there. I try to tell everybody with football, any sport, confidence is a hell of a thing. You know, when you get it, it becomes contagious, and everybody's just like, yo, this, you know, we're ready to do this now, and it becomes that type of situation, and that's where we are right now. This man is very, very confident in himself, and he's ready to go. Andy Dalton, and it's not like I'm saying that he's like a top-notch guy. I think he had a very high QBR rating yesterday and things like that, but I'm not really sold on him yet because I have to wait to see what happens when he goes up against top-notch teams. This game right here is like Pop Warner. They were playing a Pop Warner team last night. But I listen, all you can do is beat who's in front of you, and they went out there and dominated them the way that they were supposed to, and that's it, 31-10, and that's the way the game was supposed to end, and they did what they're supposed to do. And that's a step forward in becoming a better team, is when you manhandle the teams you're supposed to beat. So I really like that, man. I really like that they went out there and did what they had to do, and that's pretty much how we're kicking off Week 9, man. For the guys that are new to these recaps, there's a lot more where this came from. I have a playlist on YouTube. It's available or worldwide syndication on iTunes, GmiasWorld Podcast, and on Google Android, the Google Play Store. You'd have to download the Podcast Source app to get GmiasWorld Podcast, and that's pretty much how you would get it, and it's all free. And it's not only sports. There's a lot of other things that I delve into on days depending on how I'm feeling. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you share it and you liked the video. And until next time, one love.